To begin your ribbon wreath, you're going to need 2 yards long of ribbon, and this width is about 1/4 of an inch, although you can use any width of ribbon. In the beginning it's just easier to use a grosgrain. It has the texture to it, and about 1/4 of an inch. That's the easiest. And I've got it folded in half. I found my midway point here. And I'm going to take the right side over the left, just like the breast cancer ribbon. So right side over the left. And I'm going to come down about 2 inches, and I'm going to bring that right underneath without turning it so it stays on top of itself, and then you're going to pull it tight. And then you're just going to adjust it so you have a nice loop. Just like that. And then you can see now that this is pointing off to the right side. So whichever side it points to, that's the side you're going to grab a piece of ribbon. So it's pointing to the right. I'm going to grab a piece to the right, make a bunny ear, and go right through that loop. And then you have the ribbon on top of the ribbon, and you pull it tight and then hold it in place there on the side. And then you're just going to tighten this up. And you just got to play with it a little bit so it's a little bit tight, just like that. And then you can see how it points off to the left. So from the left side, we're going to take a loop, and it's just like a bunny ear. You just pick up a piece of ribbon, make a loop, and go right through the center. And again, you're going to have a ribbon on top of a ribbon, and I'm going to just hold that down tightly and then tighten this right side up. And then we're pointing off to the right, so we're going to take another piece, and you want this top piece on top so the ribbon is on top of itself, and you pull it tight and hold it in place, and then you're just going to gently tug till it brings it right in place. You don't want any air space or anything showing there. You don't want any, this would be a little bit loose. You don't want any airspace in there. You don't want any airspace showing. So it's just gently, but you don't want to over tighten it. Okay, and then we'll just keep on going. We'll take a loop on each side. And then I'm going to tighten that. And this takes a little practice just to learn how to hold it properly. It's pointing to the right, so I made a right side loop. And I'm going to get that tight right at the base there and pull that. And then you'll just keep doing that until you've used up most of your ribbon. And I'm going to stop the video now. Let's see. There we go. And then you pull back a little bit to make a loop. And I'm going to stop the video now and continue along and show you what it looks like when we get at the end. And now I've used up my entire 2 yards, and I've come to the end, and you'll have a loop either to the left or the right side, and all you do is pull that loop out. So now I have 2 pieces of ribbon going to the same side. And you just want to make that tight on the end. And I'm going to lay it down and take a glue dot, a large glue dot, and I'm going to catch the top piece of ribbon and the one right beside it. So I'm just going to put my glue dot right on those 2 squares. So the glue dot is extending from this square to this square, and I'll remove that. Make sure you push down really tight, and it should come off fairly easy. And then all I have to do now is I'm going to trim this piece and this piece. With a pair of sharp scissors, you just trim it flush. Got a little piece of the glue dot there. Okay. And then you'll just bring around both ends, and you form your wreath. You don't need to worry too much about the shape right now. All we want to do is get the left side on top of the right side, right over that glue dot, and pinch it. And then once we lay it down, push it down, the inside is going to form a nice circle, just like that. And you can play with it a little bit. The key thing is making sure that this left side is over the right side in a straight line there. And then you have a little room to play with it. And then I'm going to take some E6000 glue. This is really strong glue. And I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to give a really good dose of this E6000 all around the back of my wreath. All the way around. Right in the center. And all the way around. And then you want to take a Kleenex and clean that off really well and put the lid back on, because this will dry out fairly quickly. And I'm going to turn that over. And where I attached right here with the glue dot, I want that to be at the bottom. And I'm going to try to get the same amount of space, east and west, north and south. And I have plenty of time to get the perfect circle shape that I want. And push that down, mat that down, so it makes good contact with that paper underneath. And then I'm going to take a bow that I made using my perfect bow technique. You can check that for that on YouTube, as well as my website. And I'm going to remove that ribbon, that glue dot on the back, and I'm just going to put the ribbon right over where I attached it with the glue dot to kind of cover that all up. And then you can stamp a saying right here, and I'm going to add a little saying at the bottom here, and this card will be available on my website to view.